We are getting closer to the start of official meaningful soccer for the Philadelphia Union as preseason is wrapping on up, guys. Welcome to PHLY Union Podcast. We've got Tyler Zulli, our producer, JP Zapata, myself, Renee Washington, and plenty to talk about as we wrap up preseason. Yeah. We're going to look back on preseason and our thoughts on the friendlies. We're going to look ahead on the season. We're going to talk about what's happening down with Inter Miami and the links to Neymar and Messi having a potential reunion. Plus, we got to talk about the release of the kits and much, much more. Will, you are first in the chat here. Nice to have you here. TJ Scott off the Volley FC. That's quite a name there. Yeah, no way the Union can afford Neymar, but there is a team in the MLS that's trying to buy Neymar. Stay tuned. You'll find out at the very end of the show. Just kidding. You'll find out before then. All right, but we will talk about Neymar. We will not drag this out and make you have to wait too long. But first things first, JP, before we even get into anything on the pitch, off the pitch, the Philadelphia Union, hands down, one of my favorite teams in the city for this reason alone. They are always thoughtful. They always go the extra mile. They came by yesterday, actually, for Valentine's Day, but we wanted to make sure to share with you guys live on the show. They brought us some Valentines. So I know you have yours also. Yeah. The Philadelphia Union, moments before they tipped off their final friendly of preseason against the New England Revolution, took some time for their group that's here in Philly, their communications department, to bring us some gifts. So shout out to Nico, Amanda, Erica, everybody that's is always thinking of us. Now, I just want to show you guys. You showed the top of it, but look at how cute. Oh no, awesome. I tied this wrong. Look at how cute this box is. Heart-shaped. Lots of goodies in here.
This is definitely going to be used after this, for sure, for some type of, oh my God. Roses are red, but we're golden and blue. The XV jerseys for someone special like you.
Oh, it's upside down. That's embarrassing.
I like that. All right. Okay. I love
I was trying to show you guys upside down. It's, in my defense, it's upside down on the back. So, yeah. That is so sweet of the Union. They wrote us a nice, lovely Valentine's Day card. Anytime you can have a roses are red, but we're gold and blue, come on. My Hallmark movie lover in me is like thrilled at this. I love the creativity. And that's not all we got, guys. They gave us some heart-shaped M&Ms or heart-shaped M&M case. Yeah. But on the M&Ms are the players' names.
Oh, my God. I didn't even know that.
You know what? It's the little things. It's the little details. I see Jim and Daniel and Dre and Ali and Julian. Who do I want to eat first?
Oh, my God. I love it.
And then we got a scarf because you can never have too many scarves.
Nah, never too many scarves. This one's good. Look at the quality on this one. All
right.
Heart-shaped
Heart-shaped M&Ms. Where you think you're going,
Obviously,
baby?
Listen, the start of our seasons are never warm, so it's important
Oh, actually, this one is this is like a...
Yeah, this will definitely do it for...
I'm not going to lie, actually. Most scarves are kind of just for show. This is very thick.
Yeah.
This is very warm.
So it actually says
it feels like my neck is getting a hug.
Because a lot of people are going to have those questions, because a lot of people did ask as to why they didn't use them in the preseason game.
Well, stuff here.
They're going to wear them in the home opener against Chicago on Saturday, February 24th. 7:30, be there at Subaru Park, because they will wear the new kits, which we will show in just a little bit.
So they do have a nice note about the new jerseys. The 2024 XV jersey, which also in Roman numerals is 10, pays homage to the club's beginnings while looking forward to what the future holds.
Love it.
Is it homage or homage? Or I always get that word wrong.
I think, but, you know, don't count me on
Tyler.
that.
Homage.
Homage?
Yeah.
Like you don't say the H. It's homage.
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 I just feel like it should be homage.
Homage.
All right, guys.
Homage is a different word.
Right?
Homage
that's
is
what
a
I'm
word.
getting it confused with.
Homage is also a word.
And to think I won the spelling bee.
Thank God someone speaks English here.
All right. So then, wait, let me just show you this cute handy dandy compartment in the bottom. Like, this is adorable that there's and here we go. Showcase what you got in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God. She's here. She's beautiful.
Look at that.
I love
I
it.
went with my favorite number, 3.
I went with 13. I like that.
Oh, 3 and 3.
I love it.
This is the official jersey. We've got the MLS patch, the Apple TV patch. Of course, on the other side, we've got the IBX patch on the sideline. This is
Beautiful.
so nice, and it looks greater in person. Seeing the pictures and videos online as the Union officially released the new kits, I was like, oh, you know what? It's very sleek. It's very edgy. I love this stripe down the middle on the return of that, which in itself is a beauty.
You're a fan of the stripe?
I
return
like
down the
it because
center?
you know what? There's only so many ways to design a jersey. Having the light blue down the side and like lining the back is also a very nice touch, JP. Because I feel like it outlines it and brings it all together.
Yeah, this is so. It's interesting because for many years I was part of the Kit Collective, and this was one of the topics of discussion.
Sweating.
I bet you are.
All right.
The stripe down the center, Renee, has been such a controversy with Union fans. Obviously, the older fans who were there in 2010 love it because for obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah.
The younger fans may not be a big fan about it. But, Renee, what I love the most about this is I think that this is a great medium. I think that this obviously honors the first jersey with the center stripe, but it looks a little bit different. Obviously, it's a little bit abstract. It's not too bar-ish like that first jersey was in 2010. It's very modern. It's very clean. You mentioned the details of it. It's just a very clean kit.
It's nice. And I know in the chat, there is actually a price tag on this one. I don't know if we should read the price tag out there. But I know, Jose, you're asking if it feels $195 worth. It's not $195. That's what I will say.
These are the replicas,
yeah,
right?
This is not.
The authentic.
I don't know, actually. I don't know. It's made in Colombia.
Hey.
I don't know how to actually verify that.
Colombia.
I mean, it's got all the right, like, all the patches are there. It feels legitimate and it feels real. Where does it tell you that?
I'm just assuming because the price in here.
That's what I feel like.
It might be the replica.
Although I had heard these were about $100.
Yeah, so that's kind of the debate or the I guess the criticism right now with the new kits throughout the league. Authentics are going for $194, I believe. The replicas are going for around $100.
Yeah.
We talked about it before. The prices continue to go up, and this year it seems to be the highest. And it's just unfortunate because, like, Renee, obviously this is free marketing, essentially.
It's beauty.
For a fan to just buy for a couple, maybe like $100 if that. It's free marketing, so it is a little bit interesting the fact that they are pricing it this high. Obviously, Adidas runs the jerseys here for our league, so that's obviously something to keep in mind too. But that definitely is the part that does suck about this. But this kit in general, it's beautiful. They keep knocking out the park every single time.
So nice. Yeah, I mean, this is very kind of the Union to give us a nice Valentine's like this. And yes, to their question, I mean, I hope you guys are able to go to the home opener February 24th. Very, very soon. We're just about a week away. Of course, just less than a week away from the opener of the season against Zapata. Now, this is a custom jersey. So, to our question of like authentic or replica, like, of course, it's not real. It's our jerseys, and we don't play for the Union. But I know you guys in the chat are talking about the jerseys as well. Don't know if it's made by Fanatics. I haven't seen all the controversy around Fanatics as well, guys. We've been paying attention. Let me fold this so I can make it look prettier. But I like it. I like the color mixture. I like the way they tied in the gold with the light blue, with the navy. I think it's sleek, but it's not over the top or forced or anything like that. I'm all about the sleekness of a jersey, and it looks professional. So thank you to the Union. I did keep my M&Ms out because just maybe I'll find myself snacking on them during the show because why not?
Seriously, thank you. This is awesome. Obviously, getting the kit is really special, so super thankful for that. But this is a really the
box itself.
Gift, yeah.
I don't know what to do with it because the box is really cool. I feel like most time when you get gifts from people, you just kind of discard. Unfortunately, the boxes, the wrapping. Your bags? I recycle them. I have a whole. Okay, you know me well enough. I have a whole gifts thing of tissue paper and bags and cards. Like, I'm always ready for any occasion. So this will not fit in that compartment. It's a little bit bigger. It doesn't fold up, but very nice. All right. So that being said, with the official 2024 kits being released means we are officially getting ready to wrap up preseason. Now, of course, the final friendly was Wednesday, yesterday. But, we are still in those final in-betweens of preseason before the official kickoff of the season. So with that, I feel like, JP, it's a great time for us to reflect back on what we've seen so far. Of course, we have had a chance to see a couple of matches live virtually. Thank goodness for that YouTube stream on Wednesday.
Yes.
And then, of course, following elsewhere for the live blogs to be able to see what's going on. So we definitely have been able to hear some sounds from Jim Curtin. We've heard from different players. I know all the way through Macanya spoke. We heard from Marcus Anderson. We've heard from Mikel Ua and Julian Carranza. Different guys have, spoken to, whether it's for the Union side or just the pressers that we've had a chance to hear from. What are some of the main things that jump out at you as we're wrapping up preseason?
I guess just the whole psyche of the team is very positive right now. Obviously, the way last year ended, and I'm sure, listen, they're not blind, they're not deaf. They kind of hear what goes on around the team. Everyone's a little frustrated with the lack of, I guess, ambition this offseason. And so this team comes in extremely hungry. There's a lot of doubt for guys like Daniel Gazak, Ua Carranza. So the chip on their shoulder is definitely something to look forward to. Watching Wednesday's game, a 0-0 draw against the New England Revolution, that was a good tune-up here before Saprissa. That's the one I wanted to watch. And thank you again to the Philadelphia Union for giving us that live stream. Watching that first half, Renee, just felt the same Union. Felt like I was watching the 2023 Philadelphia Union, and that's the one thing that we are worried about. I want to give a big shout out to a former guest that we had here on the show, Kevin Kincaid. He put out a article here today on Crossing Broad that was absolutely spot on about just kind of the feeling that we all have about this team. It's like, how do we get excited about a team that's running it back with this team that made it only to the semifinals last year? And watching them play in that last preseason match, the one that we actually got to watch, it looked like the 2023 team. So there are some new pieces, some younger pieces, but the starting lineup's still in place. And I'm just hoping that just the hate and just maybe the voices, creating that, like that Michael Jordan effect, I took that personally, that type of effect on the mentality of this team will take them farther. But it's just going to be really tough for this team again with the Eastern Conference that we keep talking about getting better. How is this team going to separate themselves from the likes of Orlando, Miami, Columbus, or Cincinnati? So it's going to be a real challenge throughout the year.
Well, first things first, that's ironic you bring up MJ because that's the second time that I've talked about Michael Jordan on a show today. I won't get into the deep dive that I spoke about earlier when I was saying that LeBron James is my GOAT, not Michael Jordan. That opened a whole can of worms.
I bet
to each their own. To each their own. Whoever is your GOAT, go for it. LeBron is my GOAT, and then Michael Jordan's up there too. But anyways, as you mentioned, just kind of the team itself and the makeup, as we had on Tuesday a chance to really take a look at the rest of the league.
Yeah.
And for anybody that missed it, JP and I on Tuesday ran through our predictions for who we feel like is going to finish at the top and the bottom of the standings for the East and the West. And the East was the most challenging for me.
Sure.
First of all, I just had deja vu. Weird. Secondly, actual deja vu. Secondly, the East was the most challenging because I felt like, wait a minute, with the Union, they're so widespread that they could finish top 3, they could finish middle of the pack, they could finish in the bottom of the pack.
Literally.
The East is so competitive. So when you look bigger picture at what's needed to be able to manage and hang with the longevity of the season, the high level of games that you're playing. There's no drop-off in any game. CONCACAF to MLS, anything else. There's never a drop-off. There's never a game you can, quote-unquote, take easy. There's no team that you can just go into a game and say, we're just going to roll past them. So it's a lot that we have in terms of expectations on the Union, and watching how other teams have been making adjustments definitely makes you nervous. And I know we're going to get into some of those adjustments later around the league, but it makes me wonder, did they do enough? Now, at this point, we don't know. All we have to go off of is just waiting and seeing. But I will say, when I watched them play on Wednesday, I didn't like the movement. I thought they did a good job of, having multiple guys making runs, showing for the ball, providing options. That was something that I drastically wanted to see improve from last year, where the Union weren't as stagnant in their offense and as predictable. So the overlapping runs, the interchanging, that was there. I did see that from the midfielders. You always get that from Kai Wagner, Mbaizo getting forward, Nate Harrell getting forward. But I feel like you saw more of it, especially in the midfield, with them and the forwards kind of working off of each other. Two people that I was looking to watch specifically, Daniel Gazdag, Mikel Ua, both of them I thought did a much better job of peeling off the defenders, creating that separation. Ua had a great opportunity in the second half from Kai Wagner's feed out wide, perfectly threaded pass in behind. He timed his run. Ua was able to beat the defender inside, get a good look on it. So those are the types of things I'm looking for, because the other side of it, and we saw this Wednesday, we've seen this in the past friendlies, this team still heavily relies on flank services, set pieces. It's a lot of that type of predictable attack. So I did enjoy that in Wednesday. That was kind of the first time I saw a little bit more of a mixture of attacks, because to your point, TJ, it is absolutely the definition of insanity to do the same thing and expect different results. And that's not only about the roster, but that's also about the tactical side as well. This team cannot be a team that just lives and dies off of set pieces or off of everything is around corner kicks or Kai Wagner services into the box. You need more from that. So I do feel like at the end of the day, when I looked Wednesday, I can take a step back and say it's still early. There's still things they're going to be working on. But one slight positive that we did take away, that I took away at least, was they were trying some new things at least. Trying.
Yeah. We also saw a couple opportunities where, like, kind of like on a low block, they went full feel on a transition. So different stuff like that. Would like them to look. I wouldn't say that, it's only a couple times you saw it, but I want to see them more in sync when it comes to the counterattack, because at times last year it just kind of just fell apart at the end there. But you really bring up some good points here. The last 2 seasons where more soccer got put onto the schedule, the Union have found themselves at times through some streaks that you saw, like a couple of draws, maybe a loss put in there, but just matches where you lost some points on the results there. So, you look at the beginning of this season, Renee, it starts off in the beginning because you got Champions League schedule or Champions Cup scheduling to start it off, and then right off the bat, SKC. You'll be in SKC. You got Seattle. You got Austin, Portland. Those are some tough opponents. So right off the bat, you're gonna get the Union are gonna get that test. So we're gonna find out real quick here about the Union and about some of that depth, because you might have to rotate a little bit here in this early part of the congested season. But it's with how tight this East is. It's every point is extremely important for the Union. Like we talk about, fatigue cannot be an excuse again this year. The lack of tactical flexibility cannot be excuse as well this year.
Yeah. I know. Rainiel, what's up, Rainiel? In the chat, you're mentioning the new jerseys. You missed it. We did a reveal early because the Union actually gifted us our very own custom jerseys. This is mine. I went with my this is not my college number, but number 3 was always my favorite number. After, of course, Allen Iverson growing up.
Renee is your new starting center back of the Philadelphia
I
Union.
would not play center back.
You took Jack Elliott's number.
No. Well, I'm taking number 3 and going into the attack. I'd love to play in the midfield. Put me in, Coach Jim. I'm ready. I'm ready to jump in the midfield. The jerseys look good. The team looks okay. But there's some positives. Hopefully we can get some more flash like we got from these beautiful jerseys that they released. But I will say, in terms of the new faces, obviously we know Oliver Zemla is going to be a great addition in net this season, and hopefully will be able to step up when his name's called on. Marcus Anderson's been another one. Yeah. And I know he had a chance to chat with the Union's, I believe it was Sage who was actually talking to him. I could only see an arm, but she does a great job with them with all their digital content, so I'm assuming it was her, and was just talking about his experiences and how, he's been finding his way. And for Marcus specifically, he was mentioning various things about how he's, learning a lot. He's, starting to between the older guys and the younger guys that are the same age as him, he's figuring out his way in the league. They've been really helping him a lot. And he was just saying how amazing the group is and how excited he is to get started. It is an adjustment for Marcus Anderson. We know he grew up in New York. He's still very young. He's someone that played with various teams on the East Coast. So even having that East Coast background, the importance of soccer in this area and how much we pride ourselves on, the grind and that underdog mentality, because New York also has that as well. But then even having played in Europe, specifically in Spain. So he's had a lot of great experiences. And I know one comment he made was like, I'm happy to be back home and being able to like be somewhere where I can speak English. But overall, for Marcus Anderson, what I liked about the glimpses, and I haven't seen enough. I'm not one to just jump. If you guys know one thing about me, I'm not a bandwagon person. I'm a very late adopter. It takes time to like win me over. So I don't just jump right in with whatever seems flashy and exciting. So Marcus Anderson, what I've seen so far is he's got a good touch on the ball. Good size and strength. His speed is there. He's got all the intangibles. He also seems like he moves well off the ball. And he seems like he's got a nose for the goal. So what I've seen from the runs he's tried to make, whether it's, off of a service or combining as they're getting forward, he's one that's looking to play off the back shoulder of defenders, looking to get in behind, looking to stretch your attack. And you need that from your forward. You need someone that's going to make those diagonal runs and draw out the center backs, or sometimes check back to the point of the forward is to move your opponent's center backs, especially, but definitely their back line. And if he's constantly moving and they have to worry about him, it's allowing you to unbalance your opponents. And I've seen that from him, from the practice footage, from the limited times of game footage we've been able to see them. It seems like Marcus is that forward that wants to take players on 1v1, make runs, and just help create. So I like him so far. And actually, I feel like he can fit in really well. I know Jim was talking about him. The point of bringing him in was not to just be another piece on the roster, just to be another name. It was to be somebody that can start and contribute. And I could see that from Marcus Anderson. Still very young, obviously. Still has a lot of just work to do in terms of getting comfortable and getting confident, which will come with time. But I do feel like Marcus Anderson's got a lot of potential there.
Yeah, you're spot on again on Marcus Anderson. He's doing a lot of things that Jim is liking. Obviously, the talent is there. The raw talent is there. But it's just crazy how well he's fitting in already. And like when I think of that, Renee, like I think about some of the other 20-year-olds or like under 21 players that have come into this first team and have fit in seamlessly. Like you look at, like, I think the last one was like Leon Flock, and he's been a staple for this team since 21. And so what it tells me, Renee, here in the long term, with a kid here who's young, who's already fitting in well, has great on the attack, hungry, he's going to find himself in this rotation throughout the season. And, Jim always talks about it may not be your time right now to be in the starting lineup, but we're going to rely on you later on in the season, especially when the schedule gets a little bit hectic. And Marcus Anderson could be finding himself into this rotation. One thing I do question again is, where does he fit within this team? We always talk about the two-forward system. He seemed to be more comfortable as a winger, not necessarily meaning that he won't fit in here, kind of like, the struggles we've had with Joaquin Torres, but I just want to see how we can make him fit. There's a couple players, like we're trying to figure out their position exactly, but some of the stuff that he's showing, Jim's going to find a way to put him out on that pitch, and he's shown that plenty of times. So keep doing what you're doing, Marcus. It's interesting he's wearing 35, just like Jamiro Montero did as well. Like some of the control that he has as well, kind of like Jamiro did. So I'm excited to see him from Marcus Anderson.
Yes. I know, Renee, you're saying you're going to watch the live stream over when we're done, just to hear about the New Jersey. Yes, absolutely. I know I watched back the game actually today because I feel like it's always great to rewatch, especially we've got time. To be able to rewatch and kind of look at some other things that you may have missed the first time around. But I think Marcus, even Joaquin Torres, he looked good. I like what he adds. I just like players that want to try. Spin move. I like players that try something different. Don't come out there and play safe. Soccer's not that type of sports in general are not like that. You can't play safe and try to play perfect. You have to try to take risks and see how you can add something different, some flair. And I think that Marcus Anderson has shown that in his spurts. So is Joaquin Torres. There's been a couple others that stick out to me that I'm like, okay, you know what? You're trying. You're looking to do something different. You're looking to help your team score. Chris Donovan, another one. So I like so far what we've seen, but I do still in the back of my mind always move and hold things with a grain of salt, I should say, because it's such a long season and there's a lot that we're going to have to keep an eye on as the season wears on.
I just also kind of look at Marcus's upbringing. Like, he comes from a hotbed of soccer here in the United States, and that is New York. All the boroughs, or mainly like Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn. You got a lot of different cultures from all over the world that migrate to that area. And so these kids who grew up loving soccer get to play with other cultures. And so they kind of like pick off from one another. There's a lot of great talent in the United States. I think I look like Timothy Weah, Matt Miazga, those different types of talents that come from that New York area and just kind of grew. And you saw them go to Europe or go to an MLS team. Marcus Anderson got that experience in third division Spanish soccer where it may be a little uncomfortable. He talked about the fact that he's happy he gets to come back and play in English, but going to another country where you don't know the language, you're playing with a bunch of grown-ass men as well. That could really help you build your mental. So that's probably why he seems so mature so early on. That's really cool to see.
And you know who else can help you build, and that's for planning for your future? It's Mortgage CS. So over at Mortgage CS, which stands for Mortgage Concierge Service, they are a white glove service that really helps to make sure they're alleviating as much stress around the house buying process. Now, at Mortgage CS, they provide a lot of different options, especially with the spring purchase market here and heating up quickly. Mortgage CS is making sure to help their clients, those first-time home buyers, or maybe you're looking to buy that second home or your dream house, whatever it is you're looking to purchase. Mortgage CS wants to make sure you are prepared. You are equipped to be able to put in the best offer possible. You are also able to have all your questions answered. They provide 24/7 service. They work coast to coast and are licensed coast to coast, working with various states around. In this area specifically, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey. They're also out west in working with California, Colorado, down south with Florida, South Carolina. So lots of different states that they're working with as they're licensed coast to coast, providing everyone the opportunity in those respective states to get educated, to empower their clients, and just helping their clients obtain ultra competitive rates. Mortgage CS also offers refinancing options. So they help with that aspect as well of including rate and term refinances for a rate or payment reduction, cash out refinances, tapping into home equity, and just making smart choices for those, especially with high interest debt or funding home projects. So Mortgage CS helps in a lot of different areas. And the biggest thing is you can reach out to them via text, call, email, any time of any day. You can contact their CEO, Ben. His phone number is actually right on your screen.
There you go.
And his number is 267-391-7425. You can also reach out via email at ben@mortgagecs.com. Call, text, email any time of day to Ben and Alec. You can also check out mortgagecs.com/PHOI to get started today. So when you hear the word mortgage, think of Mortgage CS. Think of Mortgage Concierge Service, the independent mortgage broker right here in Philadelphia, providing you all the insight, support that you need to feel educated and empowered when you're going through your refinancing options, first-time home buyers, looking to retire, whatever it is you're looking to do, Mortgage CS has you covered. So this advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Mortgage CS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS ID number 1464766, and you can visit mortgagecs.com for more information.
Awesome. Well, may I also talk to you guys about another dear friend of ours, our sponsor here as well, Factor Foods, ladies and gentlemen. Factor Meal Kits, I'm sorry. So Factor Meal Kits, ladies and gentlemen, is the best way in today's day and age where we're all having a hectic schedule. We got kids, we got multiple jobs. We're trying to create a podcast as well. Well, your time is all dedicated to other things. Food kind of gets thrown to the side, and that's why you want to maybe go out and get that McDonald's, 5 for $5 deal. But ladies and gentlemen, Factor Meal Kits makes it
about 5 for $5.
Factor Meal Kits makes it super easy, and best of all, it is healthy. And they also they do a great job of catering to your dietary restrictions or your diet preferences as well. I'm someone who likes a little more protein-based stuff in my diets. I like some carbs, but I also prefer a lot more veggies, and that's why we love Factor Meal Kits, because they work with you. And of course, they have some of the best meals that are restaurant grade. The quality is almost like you're eating at a restaurant. And of course, we've done the math for you as well. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved and is nutritious and delicious as well. That's the most important part as well. So if you guys are interested in Factor Meal Kits, which I highly recommend, head on over to factormeals.com/union50. Again, factormeals.com/union50. And then use the promo code UNION50 for 50% off, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Factormeals.com/union50. Get 50% off. Make your dinners easier today. Check out Factor Meal Kits. And thank you to our friends over at Factor Meal Kits.
All right. Well, Chef JP, because guys, JP is low-key a chef in the kitchen. So when he's talking about eating nutritious food, he knows what he's talking about.
That's right.
Also, I did enjoy just learning a little bit more about this. My last things on the Union for me, Owefi Makanya, who had a chance to sit down with Sage Hurley and talk about, just the process of getting signed, the news, how it caught him off guard, the move being life-changing, how he's really just trying to provide for his family and do something for them, and being able to represent South Africa, being able to represent his family, being able to represent the Union, all these different, communities that he finds valuable to him, that are close to him, I should say, that he's actively looking to make sure that every time he takes the pitch, he's doing it for them. So I always enjoy hearing things like that because everybody comes from a different background, different experiences. Specifically for Owethu, he was mentioning how he would skip school a lot of times to go play soccer. That's all he ever wanted to do. And his parents would get a call like, where is he? He's not in school. He'd be out playing soccer somewhere. So I love that. It definitely paid off. His confidence is growing. He said he's learning from all these center backs, especially Damian Lowe, because Damian also, much like Owethu, left his family, left home in that sense, being that he is Jamaican, leaving home. He also has that same experience of understanding what that's like. So he's like being able to relate to him and connect with him in a deeper way that is meaningful. And we all need that support of someone else that understands the grind, understands the struggles that you're going through and what you're feeling. And so he was saying how all the center backs have helped him, specifically Damian Lowe has been just helpful in connecting, even with those, emotional, mental aspects of the game outside of just what's on the pitch. So I think someone like him, Marcus, obviously we're seeing Quinn's emergence now. You're getting the layers of the now versus the future. And that's important too, that as you're building the players that are making an impact now, Nate, Quinn, Jack, McGlynn, that rhymes too, that you also have that next wave that's learning, that's in the background, like getting those meaningful reps in practice, taking their lumps now, because you need to start planning for who's going to replace Andre Blake, who's going to replace Jacob or Jack at center back. These are the types of tough but realistic conversations that are going to be had in the future, but that's coming up very soon. So I like that a player like him has a chance to learn from them, and you never know what's going to hold, the future's going to hold. Damian Lowe, who would have thought he would be such an intricate part of this team already? There's always a need, and as you mentioned, with so many games, you never know when an injury may happen, fatigue may happen, just the conflicts of having, the overlap of schedules with the MLS and international games. So I like learning a little bit more about him.
I love that story. No, for all the way through, it's going to be extremely important for him to just be a sponge. That's literally what you got to do right now. Learn from these great center backs. And part of the Union way that we're trying to grow here is just that constant cycle of developing and passing on that tutelage. I look back at when Gooch was here, being able to mentor a Mark McKenzie and Austin Trusty. Mark McKenzie then being able to do that for a guy like Jack Elliott and Jakob Glezis. And now the cycle continues. Glezis and Elliott doing that with Lowe, and then hopefully Lowe passing that off to Makahanya as well. And I love you bringing up that story because that is what separates a lot of players. He's playing for more than just, obviously the game of soccer. He's playing for his family. He's playing for the pride of his country. And it hits so close to home. Like I remember when Lucho Diaz, who's now a star player for Liverpool, when he was coming up through the Colombian ranks, he came from an indigenous soccer league that's super small. A skinny little kid. He grew with Atletico Junior, Porto, and now he's killing it for the worldwide with Liverpool. And it's like stories like that. You hear about his love for the game, his love for, his indigenous family as well. And, hearing about him skipping school, like I remember hearing stories about Carlos Valderrama and him working 3 hours in the crack of dawn, then going to school, then going to soccer, a long day. So it's truly special, but it's those type of moments where you appreciate more of the player. And that's what's really going to take Makahani a long way. And he's obviously got a lot of the raw ability, but it's just now about learning. He's really young. He's like 21, I believe. So the sky's the limit here for Makahanya. And this Union way continues, right? It's development and repeat.
It does. It's exactly that. It's a cycle of always having that next group ready, so that when you need them, they're able to step up and deliver.
Exactly.
Will, what's up? I know you said you like the new uniforms also. Rainiel, everybody that's here, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Join the conversation with us. Let's shift off of talking. Last thing for you.
Here's the most important part about the uniforms that we never ask only until the first game. What do the pants or the shorts look like with this? That's going to be the key.
It's got to be the navy also, with a light blue. It's because you got to continue with the bottom piece. Like it's got to run through the bottom. So I think with the back of this having this like light blue, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow like the shorts are kind of the reverse of their light blue shorts, where it's navy with like the light blue stripe.
I was gonna
That's
say,
my guess.
What if they decide to go light blue shorts?
Oh no! Don't mismatch. It's gotta be the
Ladies
same.
and gentlemen,
It's gotta be the same.
Listen, DC a couple years ago
don't like
decided
that
to
anymore.
do with the black, because they were always black kit, black shirt, black shorts. New England was always the navy blue with the navy shorts. What if we go light blue?
Boo! I like the all light blue. The mismatch is so like
Oh, you know how we
youth
find out?
sports.
You know, we find out.
Tuesday.
Tyler, go put on was it
yeah.
EAFC 24? We'll find out that way. Since they want to leak everything.
No,
Bro,
so true.
between that and I think we've now had 2 NBA teams leak their
Oh,
MLS.
really?
The Denver Nuggets did it last night. They
Hey,
leaked.
make your own-
They
drop
leaked
your own
the
news.
Rapids jerseys, and Rapids fans are like, cool, but bruh.
Were you talking about the Justin Holiday picture?
It may have been. I didn't see it.
I like it.
I didn't see who it was. I just saw
funny.
a picture from afar.
Okay.
We are in the day and age where players and teams are leaking their own news and dropping their own trades
Shouts
and
to Pat
moves. Yeah,
Nothing better than a per me.
Yeah.
I just got traded. Who's the source, bro? Me.
Us, literally the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, that's gold. Hey, but why not? Why let somebody else drop news about you? Like, oh, I'm going to be traded to this team per me. I like it.
Might as well. I mean, in this day and age, why not just you be the
You have a
breaking
platform.
source?
A lot of people podcast themselves, or everybody's on social media on one way or the other. So drop your news. I think it's gonna be navy. Please don't be gold. I could tolerate a light blue, but I don't like mismatched shorts and tops anymore. I'm over those days.
I might just be stirring the pot, but I'm curious to see what the shorts
Yeah, you
look.
are stirring the pot. It's got to be navy with maybe even somehow continuing this stripe of the gold and the light blue. But
Okay.
we'll find out very soon.
Yeah.
And what we also finally found out is the details of Brandan Craig's loan. Obviously, we knew
Hey.
that the loan to El Paso Locomotive FC was happening, but we officially got the details because it always takes time. Too bad Brandan didn't drop the news himself. But he is going to the USL's El Paso Locomotive FC. That is through 2024. He originally had signed a contract with the Union back in 2021. We haven't seen Craig get opportunities in the MLS. He made his debut against DC United back in 2022. And then even after playing with Austin FC in 2023 on loan, didn't get time there. So, finally we get the official details of the fact that, yes, he is going to El Paso Locomotive FC, which we already knew, but now it's officially official. So that was great to see. And also, JP, something else that's great to see is delicious bagels, because over at Bagels & Co., they have you covered with all the best eats that you ever could want. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Bagels & Co. is the place to go. And shout out to Bagels & Co. They took time to not only join us at Reading Terminal Market for our live shows we did then, but also to come by not too long ago, sometime in the beginning of the new year, and they came by and dropped off some delicious bagels. They allowed us to be able to taste and test different options that they have. They've got so many cream cheeses and bagels options. Here's how many, if you were wondering. 15 to 20 large-size bagels that they have fresh out of Bagels & Co. each and every day. And then also 30 cream cheeses and schmears that you can always test out. They have different flavors that are seasonal. So we just had Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, depending on however you refer to it. That's all I'm going to say about Valentine's Day. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. They have sports-specific ones, so Philly sports-themed ones as well, because at Bagels & Co., they are giving you Brooklyn-style bagels right here, made in Philadelphia, giving you that mom and pop shop feel of brotherly love with your bagels. Who doesn't love that? So for those huge bagels that are that Brooklyn style or New Jersey style bagel, large varieties, and also at an affordable price. That part is very key, because you can eat well without having to spend and break the bank. So for affordable prices, much cheaper than much cheaper than the larger franchises out there. Bagels & Co. has all that you need for the best Brooklyn style bagels made right here in Philly, and you can head to thebagelsandco.com, find the location nearest you, and sink your teeth into a delicious breakfast sandwich, lunch sandwich, a bagel, whatever it is you're looking to buy at Bagels & Co. Delicious.
Love it. You know what else I do love, Renee? I love our other dear sponsor in Game Time. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously it is PHLY Sports. So obviously, listen, you can use the Game Time app for all your Union games coming up. Sixers and Flyers still in season. Phillies are also coming in season as well. But guys, I want to talk to you about some of the concerts that are coming up and why, because there's a lot of good names that are coming.
It's concert season.
It is concert season. I'm looking at the list right now. Blink-182 is coming to Philly. Olivia Rodrigo's coming to Philly. Zach Bryan, Bruce Springsteen, shouts to Asbury Park. Sean Paul. I just saw that yesterday. Fade came out with his tickets. The tickets are on sale right now. Bad Bunny in April. So guys, with all this coming in, why not use our dear friends over at the Game Time app? Stressful buying is no longer a thing. Download the free app and check out all the great prices they have right now. The best part is you can see your seat before you buy. Ooh. Hidden fees are no longer a thing with the Game Time app. You will know exactly what you pay, when you will pay it. And of course, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we got you hooked up with that promo code PHLY for the first purchase over at the Game Time app. You'll get $20 off, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, again, thank you to our friends over the Game Time app. Use the promo code PHLY on your first purchase for $20 off. And of course, I might have to put in my my Cash App or something because with all these concerts, you're going to need to help out your boy. All right?
Not a shameless plug for yourself. Here's my Cash App, scan the QR code.
www.venmo.com/JP Zapata.
Scan that QR code because I need some money, okay? Look, I love that for you. I'm excited for concert season. I also have some concerts circled on my calendar that I'm trying to get to. Usher.
We going to Usher, yeah.
I just want to get your attention.
By the
I'll
way,
be
Renee,
there.
I don't want to hear the hate. He did good.
He did good.
He did really good.
People are never, there's always going to be someone that hates Super Bowl performances because at the end of the day, it's halftime.
Yeah.
It's not a real concert, guys. If you want the concert, go see Usher in concert.
But moonwalking on the turf?
Right. The problem is everyone's like, he did too much, blah, 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 blah. I liked it because he was giving you like 1 line, 2 lines of each song, moving on to the next. It was a great promo for his concert. He always gives you the stage presence and performance. He was roller skating. He was dancing. He was grinding on Alicia Keys. He gave you a little bit of everything. Her came out playing music. You had Alicia playing the piano. You had Lil Jon come out of the crowd, turn down for what? I was like, oh my God. Like college me, yes, high school college me was going crazy, and I was sweating just like Usher. He put on a whole performance, and I don't know anybody that watched that. Okay, maybe I don't know. Actually, let me rephrase this. There were a lot of people that watched that, like myself, that was dancing, singing, screaming, sweating because it was lit.
He had me swaying. He had me swaying for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Usher was Lil Jon, Usher, Ludacris, will.i.am, Alicia Keys. Like that's my childhood.
Honestly,
that's my teenagehood, I should say.
I honestly didn't recognize Lil Jon.
I didn't either. He looked skinnier,
and
his dreads weren't as big, and he definitely looked.
Vegas changed.
Yeah, everyone's looking different these days.
We all got to move to Vegas.
Shoot, I know. I'm like, all right, I see. Then my queen Beyonce dropped some music. Listen,
yeah, she did.
Everything's great right now. Everything's fantastic on the music side. So some other quick things before we get into the biggest news we're going to wrap up with. Just wanted to share that the MLS did drop news that the MLS and MLSPA have worked together to implement a joint anti-discrimination policy and a player-led intercultural awareness training that's going to be rolling out. Now, shout out, first of all, to the Black Players for Change. I actually know a number of people involved in that. One day I'm going to have them on the show with us because the BPC does a good job of really helping to coordinate with the MLS, with the MLSPA to make a lot of these initiatives possible at helping with diversity and inclusion, helping with equality, helping with just awareness. And so there are a number of different things that are going to be rolled out with this new policy, including the fact that any players that are involved in a discriminatory incident will have the opportunity to speak confidentially. Confidentiality is key because it makes people more comfortable speaking up, with a trained facilitator who will then evaluate the situation and offer restorative plans. They also are going to be rolling out in general more restorative plans that include multiple sessions between the alleged offender and restorative practices facilitators. So just providing more opportunities for learning, but also more awareness and more spots and ways to review these incidents, talk through these incidents, and then get them raised to the proper person. So I like the fact that they're adding in accountability, discipline, restorative practices, conversations and education around it, counseling around it, just a lot of nuances to this proposed policy that should drastically help because unfortunately, and I can say this as a woman of color that also went through my own incident, soccer is one of the least diverse and inclusive and welcoming sports in that sense. It's very behind, and not just in the MLS or the United States, but around the world, soccer is behind. So this is a great step in that direction towards making it that any player doesn't have to worry about having bananas thrown at them or hearing the N-word or hearing any other racial slurs or anything like that, but can just play the sport that they love.
No, I think that's extremely important. I mean, honestly, like I'll go as far as all of our American sports are kind of behind in all of that, not just the MLS. I think this is definitely great, something that needs to be implemented for sure. I'm curious though, like, so obviously, like with all these big moves, this is definitely a big move that the MLS did. So I think of it as a Union fan. So like I look back at the situation that happened with Kai Wagner. So when that situation took place, if this rule was put in place when that happened, so I guess Kai Wagner would have been spoken to right away. I just look back at the situation where the Union mentioned that Bobby Wood also said something really, really messed up as well to Kai Wagner. Nothing excusing Kai's comments whatsoever. But curious how that may have changed the situation as a whole. But I'm curious how this does get implemented. Unfortunately, we've had situations as of late, despite all of the strides that we have taken. But definitely kudos to the MLS. I think this is huge, and I'm hoping that the other leagues do follow suit as well.
Yeah. I mean, there are things they kind of have in there that massage out exactly that, because there's that in-between period where they're trying to confirm that it actually happened.
Right.
It's been reported. They're trying to confirm it. So they're going to have a policy advisory board that's going to continuously be, making sure that these policies are getting implemented and are effectively being implemented, I should say. They're also going to have in this where they're going to be releasing public statements and announcements so that they're just going to keep people in the loop as to what's going on. Even if they're reviewing it, still kind of putting out something instead of, I don't like when there's silence. Like we've heard something racial happened or we've seen something discriminatory happen and then there's silence and then we're just waiting. No, we understand that you guys have to take time to talk about it. The least you can do is address it. Hey, we're in the midst of reviewing this. We'll be following up with more details. That's all we need. That's all we need, that it's been acknowledged and addressed and being figured out.
Exactly.
And then also even things like they're going to have paid administrative leave while a review is going on so that it's not considered a discipline, but the player's not playing essentially while they're in the midst of determining if a violation has been occurred. So just some ways to kind of work around those gray areas, but also to make sure that they are just being more thorough too with what they're implementing and making sure that players are aware of the steps that they need to take.
I love it.
I do too. So shout out to the MLSPA, the Black Players for Change, the MLS for helping to grow the game in a positive way. Something else that could grow the game, I don't know if it's positive or not. Listen, Inter Miami's been dealing with some issues. Allegedly, Inter Miami's having some salary cap problems. This was released on Twitter just Wednesday. I saw the first tweet come out. Sources are saying across the league that the club is desperately needing to shed salary and add GAM. Now, sources are saying that various players, Gregoire, Jean Mota, DeAndre Yedlin, Robert Taylor, Sergei Krivtsov are available, and overall that the team is screwed is what executives had said, because Inter Miami needs to figure out a way to come up with more allocation money or shed salary in order to be roster compliant in time for the season. As we know, Inter Miami has been spending, dating all the way back to adding Messi. They've added Luis Suarez. They've added a lot of big money pieces and players, and right now they are not league compliant. So the league has not announced specific roster rules and regulations for 2024 yet. But based off of the 2023 rulings, the general allocation money that every team is allotted right now, the Inter Miami is not in compliance with that. So shout out to Bogues who dropped that on Twitter, because it also, JP, made it worse that within the next 24 hours, so honestly just recently, in addition to hearing that Inter Miami's having salary cap issues, we also heard connections of none other than a reunion between Neymar, Messi, and Luis Suarez. Because Neymar came out and said, and this is, of course, everybody ran with it, and I loved it, that Messi has been, here's the exact quote from Neymar. Let me take it from the words of Neymar himself. Quote, "I have spoken with Messi. He said that he wants me to come to Inter Miami." End quote. That's it. That's all we needed for us to go crazy. Because my first thought was, we remember back I wrote it down because I couldn't remember. It's been so long. 2023 was when Messi, Luis Suarez, Neymar all teamed up in Barcelona. Then 2017, Neymar moves on to PSG. Then 2021, Messi follows, goes to PSG. Now Messi moves to the MLS in 2023, and possibly Neymar could be following suit. Can we get a reunion of Luis Suarez, Messi, and Neymar that we had in the MLS? And what does this mean for the league and for the rest of the teams and for the growth of the league? It's a positive. But the rest of the teams, you got to be shaking in your boots, because Miami, who needs to have their salary cap organized better, is also possibly, and listen, it's just Neymar and Messi talking, but it's Neymar and Messi talking. People listen when they talk. Possibly going to have Neymar to follow Messi's footing into what?
This is all absolutely wild. And I mean, like, yeah,
Jeez.
Messi wants Neymar in Miami. I want Christian Pulisic in Philadelphia. Like, I mean, obviously,
but when Messi's one of those people. Look, Giannis didn't like his coach. Coach is out. Doc Rivers is in Milwaukee. When your superstars like or dislike something, you figure out a way to make it happen. If Messi is saying he wants Neymar, Messi might get Neymar.
The situation's so funny, Renee. It's like when a rich person is short maybe like $100 on buying that yacht that he wants, and he can't get it because he's just $100 short. This is what it kind of reminds me of. Like, it's a team that already is stacked, and they need to unload some of these players. They're still trying to get a big player. Like, what are we doing? Well, first off, the Neymar stuff. I'm going to say this. We don't have a clear-cut source that this conversation did happen. So, like, that to me, like, obviously, like, I'm sure Messi would love to have Neymar back or play back with Neymar. But the fact of the matter is, the roster situations within our league, it won't allow it to happen. And the fact is, Miami needs to shed off some of the players that you mentioned by February 20th. If not, we could see some serious implications. So this season for Miami, and it's funny because all this came out after we did our top three, bottom three, where we both had Miami in our top. I had him second. I think you had him third. But
Second.
Third.
You're right. My bad.
Either way, like, we all predict this team to finish pretty high in Eastern Conference. How is this team actually going to? Obviously, you're going to have Messi. You're going to have Busquets. You're going to have Alba. You're going to have Luis Suarez. What is the rest of this team going to look like? Is this team still going to be good enough to compete with some of the tops in the Eastern Conference? So it is honestly, Renee, a hilarious situation because as a Union fan, I'm like, all right, Miami, well, how are you going to get yourself out of this one? Let's see it. I'm sitting here with my popcorn, just watching Miami, sitting here seeing how the hell they're going to get out of this one. I still think Miami will be fine, but I think Miami needs to tame down their expectations and their hope. Just remember, you're not in UEFA, you're not in La Liga, you're not in Ligue 1, you're in the MLS. Unfortunately, we do run like an American league. We do have a salary cap, and so you do have to maneuver way around it. But it doesn't mean you can't win. You know, they can still win, but this situation is priceless.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tyler, do you have the image of them? Because I just looked at this image on Twitter. Like, there's been all these, look at this reunion we might get in the MLS. That's terrifying to think of. Now, this is a tweet. There were a lot of people tweeting things out, and I had to just pick one. This tweet coming out of an image of Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. Of course, with Inter Miami already having guys like Busquets, it's scary. I don't know how this deal would be made possible, but the fact that Inter Miami found a way to bring in Messi and then found a way to bring in Luis Suarez makes me think that anything's possible when it comes to them, because they are not following any of the rules around salary caps, which is evident. And at all costs, they're trying to reload. Now, to your point, though, JP, I do feel like there's a couple sides to this. One, Inter Miami is like, David Beckham and Inter Miami is like, to hell with everything around rules, salaries, finances, payroll, because we're just trying to build the best possible team.
They're literally the Tom Hanks movie. We're the captain now.
Right. They're shaking things up so much. They're showing the league, this is how we do it. Because you are building this superstar team that we've only seen with Barcelona or PSG. Like, we have never seen a team like this in the MLS. And on top of that, even if they don't win a title and they fall short of that, because yes, these are players, and the reason why we had Miami as our number 3 team for our projected rankings is because they are older. They're not in their prime. It's a very long season, but at the end of the day, can you imagine if Neymar comes to Inter Miami? Ticket sales, TV deals. We just saw Messi in a Super Bowl commercial. Like, we're going to see them everywhere. It's literally going to change the trajectory of soccer, because much like, actually, I feel like it's mirrors the conversation I had with the Dodgers around Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, where it's like, this is must-see TV.
You're right.
Where regardless of who you're a fan of, you're going to want to go see Inter Miami play. I'm like, make it happen. Listen, sucks to suck for everybody else, Union included, because when you play Inter Miami, hold on, I don't know what's going to happen. But I would love to see this. I would love to see a Barcelona-type team in the MLS because the league has been needing that. To take that next step as a tier in terms of leagues, to be able to have the playmaking ability and the talent and the foot skills and the finances that Inter Miami would provide, it would be ridiculous. It'd be scary, but it'd be so exciting to watch. My inner child is like, it's like Usher, when I heard about Usher being at the Super Bowl performance all over again. Like,
Messi
this is everything you dream
of. But no, it's like if I'm Messi in Miami, like why not look for like getting Gerard Piqué to come out of retirement, getting Victor Val, because like you need defense, you need depth. Maybe go down to South America and find some of those young South American players to bring here for some depth because it's obviously cheaper. The Union would know well about that. But anyways, I just I get it. Like Neymar's flashy, like you said. It's must-watch TV. Everyone is gonna want to kill each other to buy a ticket to watch Inter Miami.
There's gonna be lines. Sorry to cut you off, but I was just watching Iowa versus Nebraska college women's basketball. Caitlin Clark,
I saw that.
Ended up falling short of breaking the record for all-time scorer. But there was a line miles and miles and miles down the block of people waiting to get in to watch Iowa versus Nebraska women's basketball. Like sports in general right now, I feel like every league from college to professional has their face of superstardom that is really putting butts in seats and raising the level of everything. Ticket prices, jersey, merchandise, the excitement. Like I've never seen so much excitement around college women's basketball, soccer, everything, baseball. The time is now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Star Cell. I don't know how the Union didn't catch that one, but they didn't catch that memo.
Well, I forgot we're on a Union show because I feel like I'm just getting a little too excited about Inter Miami. This might become what would Miami be? If we were, instead of PHOI sports, if we were Miami, we'd be
that's
like.
a good question. What would be MIA?
No, we don't use vowels. It would be M.
I know. That's like MM.
MMMM.
Welcome to MM Sports. This is MMMM Inter Miami FC because
oh my God, that'd be interesting. Let's get to that.
I feel like I'm fangirling over here a little bit. It just, when you think about soccer and where it's been in this country, where there was a time the main soccer player that Americans could name was David Beckham.
Yeah.
And you would have so many household names. You'd have so many more kids that are looking up to the MLS. And overall, Messi alone is busting the door open for other players. Because it's like, wait a minute, if Messi can do it, I can do it. I don't have to go to Saudi Arabia to get paid. I can go to the MLS, get paid well, get endorsements, get commercial deals, be able to live in a great city like Philly or Miami or LA or wherever and play soccer.
Renee, I was in a barbershop in South Jersey, Washington Township that sold fake Messi jerseys.
A barbershop?
That's where we're at right now. We got fake Messi jerseys in South Jersey barbershops. That's where we're at. That's where Inter Miami's at right now.
That's wild. I'm not surprised though, because now you are seeing Inter Miami jerseys in stores, in barbershops, where before all you would see was basketball or football. You're getting this, even that's something that's growing more. You go into like a Walmart or something, and you're now going to see Inter Miami stuff. Would love to see Philadelphia Union stuff in these Philly Walmarts and things, but they're trying. They're getting there.
Messi talks.
Messi talks.
Messi talks.
So overall, when I read this, first I was like trying to process the salary cap because, of course, Bogues tweeted that out Wednesday. So it's like, wait a minute. But no, don't wait a minute, because that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, we knew bringing in and already having guys like Alba and Busquets, and now you add Messi, and then you add Luis Suarez. That it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But
I just feel like this season for Miami, it's going to be more talk off the pitch than on the pitch, and that sometimes is not a recipe for success. As much as Messi, as good as Messi is, the rest of the team is not as good as Lionel Messi is here. I'm keep hearing now Messi will make the league better.
Yeah, Dan.
I guess. I mean, obviously he's bringing eyes to the league, but making it better, Might have to ask someone else. But there will be a huge mushroom cloud with a lot of collateral damage.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, Messi's opening the door. As much as it may frustrate some people because it is Hollywood types of conversation around Messi and around the MLS. At the end of the day, for Inter Miami, they're going to find a way. I just talked about the Dodgers with deferred money with Ohtani. There's ways. There's always loops in salary caps, and yeah, Dan, you're saying the salary cap rules don't apply to Inter Messi, excuse me, as you're saying in the chat. But yeah, I would not be surprised if Inter Miami finds a way to just kind of work around all these, finds the loopholes and finds a way to make it happen. But then on the other side of it, the positives that you do get out of this, you get more international talents here in the MLS. Orlando City just signed Colombian forward, your
Luis
guy,
Muriel, yeah.
Luis Muriel, just got signed to Orlando.
Great signing from him.
There's a lot of other moves that just happened outside of the MLS. Mbappe, Mr. Kylian Mbappe, one of my favorite players to watch, just officially confirmed that he is moving on from PSG. Him and PSG have been communicating, and they're working through the exit process, and Real Madrid's continuing to work on getting a deal done with him. Who knows, maybe at some point Mbappe's in the MLS or Christian Pulisic. You never know now because Messi started things off. Who's to say Ronaldo or Neymar or Mbappe or Pulisic or, these other names aren't also considering coming to the MLS. It now just makes it possible. And I think that's what I enjoy most about it. More names, more talents means more excitement around the league and also more opportunities in the future for the league.
If we want more of these type of players, the MLS, they're just going to have to alleviate some of these salary cap restrictions that we do have. And I mean, it's not just so Miami can field MSN again, but it's more so we can disperse some of these talents. I mean, Karim Benzema was connected to MLS. I'm sure he wanted to sign for LA, but he's also not going to take a huge pay cut to come play for MLS. So, these players do want to come here, but you got to pay what they are earning. So, when I hear James potentially playing for RSL, I know James is not the same type of player.
Right.
That's huge because we don't want these star players to just go to Miami or the LA teams. We want them to go to the likes of Chicago, RSL, wherever, Charlotte type of market. So
yeah, and that's why it's great to see the signing like Kellen Acosta, who signed with Chicago. That actually dropped shortly after our Tuesday show. Also seeing Charlotte, who signed French midfielder Diani. Listen, you're seeing these acquisitions, Djibril Diani going to Charlotte and U.S. men's national team midfielder Acosta going to Chicago, and Portland's been another one that's been actively shopping around. It makes those types of teams also have opportunities to bring in ready now these international talents or national team talents that they can add to their roster, which is also what's most important. Don't just load up LAFC and Inter Miami. We want to see other teams like the Union be able to find a way to financially afford these guys. So, JP, before we wrap up, anything else that's been exciting on the soccer front for you?
No, I mean, obviously we're getting some word of friendlies. Yes. We are getting closer to Copa America as well. U.S., Mexico, Jamaica, I think Costa Rica in there as well. So it's really exciting. USA, Colombia at that crappy field in D.C. June 8th, that is going to be a fun one. But yeah, we're getting closer to, the warmer it gets, the more soccer we're going to get here in the U.S. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned. And that's why you guys subscribe here.
We'll continue unpacking all the updates around soccer, the soccer world. I know, Dan, you're mentioning Emil, who went to Red Bulls. Yeah, huge additions being made, not just to Inter Miami. They're not happening in Chester with the Union, but they're also not only they're happening elsewhere around the league. Hopefully we'll get some trickles down for the Union in the future at some point. Probably not this year, but maybe in the future. So great to see jerseys dropping. I know other teams around the league dropped their new kits as well. Also seeing, as preseason's winding down, the way that the team's coming together. I'm looking forward to the start of the season. Of course, the opener against Saprissa on the 20th, the MLS opener against the Fire happening on the 24th. It's time, guys. It's time. So on Tuesday, we'll be previewing the season opener.
That is wild to say. Holy crap. We're already there.
Yep. Tuesday back here on PHOI Union Podcast. As wild as that is, we'll be previewing game number 1 for the Philadelphia Union, taking on Saprissa in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed, following, and up to date. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Thank you again to the Philadelphia Union.
This is sick.
And thank you again to all of you. See you guys next time. For Tyler, JP, myself, Renee, have a good one. Back here Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. for more Union Talk.
Doop.
all silly like the mayor.